Hello all, it's Lucy here, and I'm new to this, but I would like to share my mental health story with you guys. So basically, I've had mental illness since I was really little, but it significantly, sorry, I can't really speak. Last year it got bad. Basically, what happened the end of 2014, I was a victim of a rape and I got pregnant. January, unfortunately, I had a miscarriage that basically it triggered me to get more depressed. And basically, I've got a 3-year-old little girl called Megan, and basically I didn't realise that I was not caring for her as much as I wanted to because of my depression. And basically one day health visitor came over, and she noticed that I was unwell and that I had self-harm marks over me. So after she left, an hour later, a knock on the door, and it was the health visitor and a social worker. And basically, they were a bit worried about my daughter, and so they suggested that she stayed with some friends for a few days. And that evening, I ended up going to A&E because my thoughts got bad. And so I saw the crisis team, and they suggested that I see the crisis team for a few days, have crisis team involved and see them for a few, every day for a few days, and then every other day, and so on. And then this was the 15th of January. Then on the 19th of January, Megan had to go into care, unfortunately, because there was no one to look after her, and I was too unwell. I ended up staying with some friends from church because I couldn't look after myself. And I was seeing Megan and that, and then Megan was supposed to come home on the 9th of February. But where I became so unwell, on the 6th of February, I ended up taking a giant overdose. I'm not going to say what I took, but it was over 150 tablets. And I became so unwell, and the family that I was staying with knew something was up, because I was saying goodbye to everybody that morning, and my cat who was staying with us. And then I went back to my flat and I took the overdose. Next thing I know, an ambulance turned up and paramedics knocked on my door. They saw me through my kitchen window, me laying on the floor. My friends, I can't remember, my friends and the paramedics got in, and they took me to hospital, and I had to drink activated charcoal. Ugh, that stuff's horrible. But it's helped you to bring everything up, I think. And stop it affecting your organs. And then I had to have a drip in for a few days. Basically, I saw crisis team, and I ended up getting admitted to Woodlands Centre for Acute Care, which is a psychiatric ward in Hastings, and I ended up going there, but voluntary, because they gave me the choice that I could go voluntary, or they get psychiatrists and doctors to come and assess me and try to get me sectioned and go there. So I was like, so either way, I'm going to end up in this hospital anyway. She was like, yeah. So I was like, oh, I might as well go voluntary then. I ended up discharging myself and doing something silly. Again, took another major overdose in a woods this time. And they took them quite a long time to find me, apparently. But there was helicopters and dogs out looking for me, and they couldn't find me because I ended up going to Tesco's, buying a complete new outfit, new bag, new everything, so I couldn't be traced. Like my sniff, my smell, and what I was wearing, because my mother saw me what I was wearing that morning before I run away from her. So I changed everything. I remember drinking an old bottle of vodka with medication, but I ended up getting woken up. I can't remember what time or anything. There was something put in my throat, and then something up my nose, and I remember the pain that felt. And I remember these people saying, "Oh, she's waking up. Take it out." And they pulled it out, and I remember all this hot liquid coming out, obviously blood. And I woke up, and it was the police, and ambulance was on their way. And then I remember them cutting something from my throat. I tied a ligature. And basically, yeah, I ended up in A&E. I managed to escape from A&E and ended up going back to my flat. And about 5 minutes after I got to my flat, there was a helicopter going around my flat. It was a police helicopter, and I went to run out my flat, and there was 2 police officers coming down my stairs, and they knocked on my door, and I didn't answer, and they said, "If you don't answer, we'll have to break our way in. We know you're in there." At this point, I filled my bag up with stuff. I can't remember what. And I had a knife in there, and I also had a knife in my hand. And I let them in. Now, I opened the door, and they saw that I was hiding something behind my back. And the officer was like, "Oh, what have you got behind your back?" I was like, nothing. And the officer behind him obviously saw it was a knife, and she radioed in saying, "Oh, she's got a knife on her." And the male officer was like, "Oh, put it down, put it down." I was like, no, I'm not putting it down. Just let me go. Let me go past. And they were like, "No, put it down." And so I kept refusing, and then they came in and basically got their tasers out. And they were like, "If you do not put down, we will have to taser you, and we don't want to do that." And there was and obviously I've seen that crap on TV, man. And I was like, I ain't having that. So I threw this knife down on the floor towards them. So they basically came in and sat me down and was like, "Oh, can we get our mental health nurse to come in and have a chat with you?" I was like, "Okay, fine." So she did. And then the police officers were by the living room door. And the nurse said something I thought was really stupid at the time. It was like, I can't remember what it was. But I reacted like saying, "Oh, that's such a stupid question. What do you think?" And I got up and tried to leave. And obviously the police stopped me, and I was like trying to barge past, and they wouldn't. So they like threw me to the ground. And they were trying to restrain me, but obviously they couldn't because I was too strong. I was proper kicking off. Proper lunatic I am. And then they radioed in for backup, and 6 officers ran through my door and managed to restrain me and put handcuffs and foot restraints on me. and they yeah they 136'd me, which is a police section which is up to 72 hours, and it's to take a vulnerable person to a place of safety, either in a police cell or a 136 suite in a psych ward. So they 136 me, and basically, also at the end of the up to 72 hours, you see a doctor and psychiatrist to assess you if you need to be admitted to a hospital or to discharge you, but with following help kind of thing, support. And they also arrested me on breach of the peace or something like that. And I went into this police van and I went to the police station. I was put into this cell and I had to be completely strip searched. I wasn't allowed anything on of my own stuff and put into this padded suit. And I had to have 2 officers watch me in the cell with me. Then about, I think it was like 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that. It was early hours of the morning, which was a bit weird. And I was assessed, and basically I ended up getting sectioned. I got a section 2 under the Mental Health Act, and I had to be then transferred to Woodlands. And yes, I was in Woodlands again on a section. I kept escaping from the place, kept getting dragged back in, restrained, jabbed in the bottom, put on 1-to-1. It was awful. I was awful. Then I got discharged. About probably like a couple of weeks later, I ended up in hospital again in Eastbourne, Department of Psychiatry. I escaped again. Then they discharged me. 6 hours later, I got picked up by the police again because I ended up in A&E. I severed my tendon on my little finger, so it doesn't go straight now, because I had a blade in my hand and I tried to jump in front of a car. And the person that restrained me didn't know there was a double-ended blade in my hand, and obviously cut into my tendon. So I was in A&E, and I had my stitches done, and I had to wait for the mental health team again. But at this point, I walked out, and the person I was with rang the police because he was really worried about me. I was apparently talking to a tree, and I was talking to my voices in my head. I was listening to them, and they were telling me what to do, and I was doing it. But yeah, I was walking along the street by the hospital, and next thing I knew, a police car drove up not behind me, next to me, started talking to me. I can't remember much of it, but I ended up getting 136 because they were worried about my safety and what I was saying. So I ended up going back to Department of Psychiatry, and I can't remember what happened. Yeah, no. I did. Then I got discharged. No. I got transferred to Woodlands, and then after my section was finished, they wanted me to stay there voluntary. So I stayed there, but I ended up, yeah, no, I was on my section and I escaped, and I had the police find me like 4 hours later, brought me back. I got restrained and jabbed in the bottom twice to calm me down with haloperidol, which is an antipsychotic, and it kind of knocks you out. And I know I was on 2 to 1 at that point. I went to a ward round the next day with a psychiatrist. I can't remember it, but I went to it and I came off my section or something. Yeah, and I came off 2 to 1, and then finally I came off 1 to 1. Then a week later, some patients sneaked in alcohol, and we all got drunk basically. But I decided to go to my ward round drunk, so I got kicked out, and then I got arrested an hour later because apparently I was walking into the road in front of cars, and so the police came and took no, it was the security guy at the hospital, because I was still on hospital grounds at this point. And yeah, I went to A&E, and yeah, it was a security guard and another, like a nurse kind of thing, stayed with me, and then until the police turned up. And the police turned up. There was loads of them. There was 5. I was like, what's going on? And I had to have my arm stitched up, glued up, because I don't remember doing it, but I was slicing my arms. Gross. But I don't even remember doing it, so I had to have them glued up. And police stayed with me until I had to see see the mental health team, but obviously I walked out, and the police restrained me because I walked out, and apparently I assaulted a police officer again, and so I was handcuffed and arrested and taken to a cell again, and they made me have another psych assessment, but luckily I was allowed to go. And so yeah, I got to leave, and I ended up staying with a friend for a week, and yeah, I was sort of stable for a little while. And September, was it my last? Yeah, my last attempt, which was a big one again. Helicopters, dogs, multiple police looking for me, but they found me by helicopter, restrained, 136 in the hospital. Wasn't allowed to leave until I saw a psych, and luckily they let me go. So I didn't need to be sectioned, but I was with 2 other people when this happened, and they also tried to take their life. Those 2 got sectioned, but not for long. Actually, they cut off their section pretty quickly. And then what else is there? Yeah, there was a few like random nights of just like overdoses, self-harming, where people were worried and I had to go into hospital. 136 a lot. There was a week where I was getting 136 like every day kind of thing. But I wasn't sectioned. But since September I have been fine. I was diagnosed with emotionally unstable personality disorder, anxiety, and audio and visual hallucinations, which wasn't fun. And but social services made me have another psych assessment just before Christmas just gone. And I actually got diagnosed with recurrent depressive disorder and PTSD. So different diagnosis from an original. And so social services thought that it would be in Megan, my daughter's, best interest if she was put up for adoption. So I appealed against this. I went to court and everything. But last week, I had to go. It was the final court hearing. And they decided to put Megan up for adoption. Because they think that I would have a relapse and won't be able to look after Megan. And so I get to see him tomorrow, and then once a month until she's put up for adoption. Next week is her birthday, and I'm not allowed to see her. I just want my baby back. Sorry. And they're saying that I'll have a relapse, and I haven't had my treatment yet for my PTSD. They think that I should have my treatment first before Megan comes home, but unfortunately it's not in the time scale of Megan. And so they think, oh, and yeah. I know I've got makeup in my eye now. And yeah, basically, yeah, not in Megan's time scale, and she needs to be somewhere settled now. She's currently still in foster care. But I've been stable since September. I've got myself a full-time job working for Bupa. I got my own flat again after I became homeless, because I became homeless while I was in Woodlands. The landlord decided to sell up. So I've got my own place. I've got support now. I've got an amazing fiance who is really supportive of me, who also has his own mental health issues. He's got emotionally unstable personality disorder and anxiety, and he's better. He's been discharged from mental health services. I still see my community psychiatric nurse weekly at the moment because of what's going on. She's amazing. She's a new one because I moved away from Hastings to Eastbourne now. And last week she knew it's going to be a bad week, So she prescribed me some PRN of lorazepam, which, you know, is amazing stuff. It really does help. It does kind of knock you out a bit. I had that quite a few times as PRN in psych wards to calm me down, and also being injected into my bottom as well after I've escaped. I've got friends, I've got family, I've doing amazing. I don't even self-harm anymore. All my scars are clearing up now. They're fading a bit now. I don't know if you can really. They're not that bad. Not anymore. I've got loads on my legs. I've got loads on my stomach, on my breasts, on my feet. I don't know if you can see the burns on my hands. I did have some around my neck, but obviously they've cleared up, luckily. I'm getting through this. They think that I was going to relapse, and I haven't. I'm staying strong for my daughter, who I know I'm not going to see for a very long time now. But they think I was going to relapse, and they're wrong. They thought I was going to relapse a couple of weeks ago when my friend committed suicide, because the same thing happened to her. She had her baby taken away up for adoption, and she committed suicide. Yeah, I'm really hurting inside. My work colleagues have noticed. But I've got to keep a brave face on. I've got to get through this. But yeah, doing this video helps as well. I can tell my story. I can speak to you guys. But I will ask all of you, if you're feeling down, low, suicidal thoughts, anything, please talk to your doctor. Please talk to your local crisis team. Out of hours doctors, if it's like over the weekend. There are some good charities, organisations like Samaritans, who are helpful, and Mind. There's some right on Google. If you look things up, it's really good. But please, you know, you're worth it. You are worth it. You might not think you are. But sorry about this long video. I've never done this before, but I will be doing more videos and that. So please subscribe and hit the like button or whatever, and comment below if you like to, and I'm happy to comment back, reply, and that, and any requests of putting up any videos, I can do that. There is some videos going to be uploaded soon of me and John, me fiance, doing some challenges. So whatever challenge or anything you want to see, comment below and we'll do it. We're happy enough to do it. But yeah, love to you all, guys, and I will see you soon. Speak to you all soon. Okay, I've got to go now because I've got to go to work soon. But bye all, love ya.